Hi, friends, I'm Olivia Smith. Thanks for visiting my YouTube channel where I share the latest global news every day. You can also read more news on TimeGlitter.com. You can find all the links in the video description below. Friends, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Now, let's jump into today's news. News headline: U.S. Health Secretary on Alabama's IVF ruling. Pandora's box was opened after fall of Roe. News details: the U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Becerra stressed the urgent need for federal protections regarding reproductive rights to prevent further restrictions on in vitro fertilization, contraception, and abortion. Speaking exclusively to The Guardian, Becerra highlighted the critical importance of safeguarding these rights amidst recent developments. Becerra's remarks follow a significant decision by the Alabama Supreme Court, which granted embryos the legal status of extrauterine children. This ruling led to 3 major fertility clinics in the state halting their services out of fear of legal repercussions. In response, the Alabama legislature swiftly passed new legislation granting immunity to IVF providers from civil and criminal liability, signed into law by the governor on Wednesday night. The secretary emphasized the direct connection between these events in Alabama and the erosion of Roe v. Wade, the landmark decision that guaranteed a constitutional right to abortion based on privacy. Becerra attributed this erosion to the appointment of 3 conservative justices to the U.S. Supreme Court during the tenure of former President Trump. It wasn't until this new court came in, Becerra stated, referring to the confirmation of the 3 new justices, that we saw the attacks on Roe v. Wade take hold. Today, without Roe v. Wade, women in Alabama attempting to conceive are facing dire consequences. He continued, asserting that none of the current challenges regarding IVF in Alabama would exist if Roe v. Wade were still in effect. Becerra's remarks precede President Joe Biden's upcoming State of the Union address, where reproductive rights are expected to be a significant focus, indicated by the presence of numerous Democratic guests. High-ranking Democrats have invited notable figures to the State of the Union address, including Elizabeth Carr, the first person born through IVF in the U.S., Amanda Zarofsky, a Texan who faced life-threatening complications after being denied a necessary abortion, and Kate Cox, who had to leave Texas for an abortion upon learning of her fetus's fatal chromosomal condition. Other guests include reproductive health specialists, such as an Indiana doctor who performed an abortion for a 10-year-old rape victim, and leaders from reproductive rights organizations. Secretary Becerra reiterated the significance of protecting reproductive rights, underscored by the guest list assembled by Democrats for the State of the Union. This, along with recent visits by administration officials to states with stringent abortion laws, reflects the Democratic strategy. They believe Republicans, by aligning closely with the minority of voters supporting anti-abortion measures, have distanced themselves from broader American sentiments. A significant portion of Americans supports IVF, contraception, and legal abortion. Becerra pointed out the repercussions of the decline of Roe v. Wade, stating, "As a result of the fall of Roe v. Wade, my daughters have fewer rights in America than their mom did." He emphasized the role of the Supreme Court in overturning constitutional protections, while Becerra affirmed his agency's commitment to upholding federal laws in Alabama, including those guaranteeing patient privacy and access to emergency medical care, including emergency abortions. He stressed that it is the responsibility of Alabama's courts and politicians to address the turmoil caused by their policies. The Alabama Supreme Court must rectify its erroneous decision, said Becerra. The Alabama state legislature should enact comprehensive protections for families relying on IVF, not temporary measures that jeopardize patients and providers alike. Even though Alabama lawmakers have passed a bill granting IVF providers legal immunity, national associations of fertility doctors argue that this law doesn't adequately address the fundamental issue, the state's Supreme Court equating fertilized eggs with children. "It's evident that this extends far beyond abortion," remarked Becerra. "It wouldn't be surprising surprising if we witness actions that hinder women's access to essential family planning services, including contraception. While doctors and patients express shock, anger, and sadness over the Alabama Supreme Court's ruling, the anti-abortion movement celebrates it. The concept of fetal personhood has long been a goal for this movement. For years, Republicans have supported this goal. In 2023, 124 Republicans co-sponsored the Federal Life at Conception Act, which would grant embryos rights, equivalent to those of individuals, at the moment of fertilization, cloning, or any other point when the individual begins to exist. Recently, Kentucky Republicans pushed forward a bill allowing individuals to claim fetuses as dependents on their tax returns. Furthermore, they've obstructed federal legislation aimed at safeguarding IVF. Twice. Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois introduced an IVF protection bill in late February, which was blocked from expedited passage most recently by Republican Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith of Mississippi, a state with a near-total abortion ban similar to Alabama's. However, the Alabama ruling has created discomfort among many within the party. Former President Donald Trump has expressed support for IVF and sees anti-abortion policies as a threat to his political agenda. Republicans like Tommy Tuberville of Alabama and Joni Ernst of Iowa have issued hesitant, non-committal remarks about the decision. Ernst had previously backed federal fetal personhood laws. When the Dobbs decision struck down Roe v. Wade, it opened Pandora's box, said Becerra. Now we're witnessing the repercussions and how the loss of Roe's protections extends beyond just abortion. Friends, don't forget to hit the like button, drop a comment, share with others, and subscribe to the